resources to actually help you fight this FDLR and eliminate it from. And they refused. I had even given them advice that, you see, Uganda has a problem of ADF and others based in Congo. We have a problem of FDLR based in Congo. Burundi also says they have a problem based in Congo. I said, why can't we, all of us, work together? Uganda works with the DRC, Rwanda works with the DRC, Burundi works with the DRC to eliminate the threat to security along our borders. I suggested to them, to the current administration, in 2019. Now, what they did, they allowed Uganda to go and to send in their troops to go and fight ADF. They allowed Burundi to quietly go into DRC to fight whichever their groups they are fighting are. When it came to Rwanda, they refused. Of course, that means something. They refused because either on their own or on advice by whoever, they actually didn't want this problem of FDLR addressed. This was way before this M23 problem flared up. And as I mentioned to you, the main bulk, like the others, maybe they have been recruited from different places, but the main bulk of this group, including the leaders of M23, came from Uganda. They did not come from Rwanda. This is a basic fact you should all be knowing. Then ask yourselves, so how did it become Rwanda's problem? So why doesn't DRC address the problems of their own people? Why do they have to put the weight of that on our shoulders? Why don't they take away these 100,000 plus refugees here, take them back home? Now, to show you the connection with these other countries, for all the time this problem has been there, some of these refugees, these countries, United States, Canada, Scandinavian countries, other countries, they've been coming here and selecting people from these camps that they would go and relocate in their countries. They've been doing it over a long time, but they have not taken many people. Out of 130,000 we have here, they have maybe among these countries, they have maybe relocated for settlement in their areas about, can't be more than 11,000 over 20 years. So do these people come and take these refugees, or these people, knowing that they are taking Rwandese or they are taking Congolese? They definitely know they are taking Congolese. So how about those who are staying here and have not found a home anywhere in these areas? What happens to them? And they are coming every day, every time, with this fighting going on. So then they quickly find a solution in saying, let's blame Rwanda for everything. Then they make statements. Rwanda-backed M23 is doing this, is doing Rwanda every day. Rwanda must remove their forces. So I asked another time when we were having a conference like this, if anybody thinks Rwanda is in DRC. Why should Rwanda be in DRC? They should ask themselves that question. If you want to blame Rwanda for being in DRC, can you also make an effort and try to reason and say, okay, but yeah, it's true, Rwanda is in DRC. Rwandan forces are in DRC. But why? Why should they be in DRC? So that's why they quickly find an answer and say, they are there to steal minerals. Okay, suppose that is also true, if you think that is true. What happened to FDLR? Or what happened to what produced refugees to be here in their hundreds of thousands? What happened? Why? Was it because RDF was stealing minerals in Congo? That's why these refugees came here? Is it? So where is the FDLR? FDLR is nowhere. You don't remember 2019 and later on afterwards 21 and so on, when there were 2019 in November, I remember there was an incursion through Virunga Mountains, invaded our country, areas of Kinigi and in Musanze. These were FDLR. Afterwards, the bombardment that came from DRC onto our territory. There we held a Commonwealth conference here. So the bombardment that was, and it killed our people. And we raised these matters with the government of DRC. Now, so everything is, oh no, they are there just stealing minerals. Okay, if you are right on this, how about these other issues? How have you addressed them? So, my dear friend, I've given you a long answer. I wanted to really be quoted correctly, and I hope you will. This problem can be addressed, but it cannot be addressed by just having processes where the only thing, in fact, it's really sad. We have processes and we have leaders leading these processes, and what becomes more important is the appearance, the camera appearance. It's being seen there to be signing something, and that becomes an end in itself. You leave the problem intact, you don't address it. Oh, but you didn't go to Rwanda. Okay, how about the time I went there? What happened? Because there are times I have been in these, in fact, up to a point I got tired of going. We have meetings in Nairobi, I was always present. We have meetings in Rwanda, I was always present. We have, wherever there were meetings to discuss how to end this problem, Rwanda was present. But in the end, even now as we speak, the importance is not ending the problem, the importance is in the process. It's in the appearance to be photographed and You say you were in Rwanda. So if you're not there, but I have discovered that being there and not being there amounts to the same thing. It doesn't address the problem. So we have to find a way of addressing the problems. Not processes becoming an end in themselves. Not the leaders of those processes holding people's hands and doing this being an end in itself. We have to have results built on addressing the root causes. And then another time they say, oh, Rwanda, you see, you have influence on M23. By the way, influence just because some of those guys will speak the same language, so that becomes an influence. Okay, but let's assume we have the influence. And I have been asking these people, so, okay, what do you want me to tell these people? Do you really want me? What do you want me? Give me a message to take to these people over whom I have influence. And as I see, they stop fighting. Okay, that one I can do. But what follows that next? Because if I tell them to stop fighting, and they are attacked and killed, who takes the blame? It's not you who sent me to tell them, it's actually me. Meaning I lured the people into, but then in all conscience, do you also want me to go and tell people that you should accept being denied your rights and keep quiet because some people, some powers are not happy? So maybe that's what they want me to tell these people. I can't. You never. It happened when we met, you must have seen it, when I met President Tshisekedi in New York around General Assembly. And we had with us President of France, President Macron. At that time they were telling me, please give these people a message, they leave Bunagana. There is a place they had taken over called Bunagana, the border with Uganda. Otherwise, fighting will continue. I said, okay, I can even transmit your message, just out of politeness. But if I tell them to leave Bunagana and get lost, first of all, where do they go? Secondly, are you going to follow that with addressing their problem they are fighting for? And there was no clear, but anyway, I came back, I sent a message, sent intelligence people to tell them. I said, for the good of the peace process, maybe somebody is thinking about to bring peace, you leave Bunagana as a symbol that you want to have a peace process going on and resolve the problem. As they are about to, they agreed with the message I sent to them. In other words, they agreed with me. As they were preparing to leave, they were attacked. There was serious fighting. And then I called up these leaders. I said, but you people, you lied to me. You told me I should transmit a message that these people should leave, and then that will help the process to resolve the problem. Then, little did I know, the intention was actually maybe to attack them when they thought it wasn't going to be the case. So from that time, things have been like that over and over and over and over and over again. These government forces attack. In most cases, they are beaten back. And then there is a loudspeaker everywhere announcing how M23 has been violating the ceasefire. You attack, we fight, I push you back, and then I'm the one who violated the ceasefire. This has been what goes on every day. And even with these experts that we have in place, they cannot tell, but that shows it's not that they can't tell what is the truth. It's just that the truth is not what they want, it's not what they like. It's completely different. So Rwanda, while we may be blamed for other people's problems, we are also happy to be blamed for our own problems of trying to defend ourselves, if that is what it means. We will defend ourselves at any cost. There's no question about it. I have told those who are behind all this in a very clear language. They keep asking me the same questions. I keep giving them the same answers. If there is anything that I can compromise on, it has nothing to do with ceding even a millimeter in terms of preserving the security of our country. Absolutely not. So, my friend who asked the question, the answers are obvious, they are known. But in their heads, these other people have their own other way of looking at things. They don't care about us, they don't care about anybody, they care about themselves. If you want to allow yourself to open up to be crushed, you get crushed, and that's not their business. They really facilitate that. So let me end up the wrong story here, but it is an accumulation of, I have been silent for a long time. So I thought I needed maybe to go back into a little bit of the history of the problem. But the facts are clear. It's only those who don't want the facts that have other ways of looking at things. All right. Maybe that answers all the questions you had in mind, but we can open up for more questions.
Your Excellency, before we take more questions from the room, we received a question from a journalist called Charles Onyango Obo. He and 10,000 more are watching live right now online. And he says, you led the African Union reform process and most of its financing mechanisms. Given the failure of AU diplomacy and security interventions in the Horn of Africa, the fiasco the EAC faced in Eastern DRC, the mixed results of the Luanda process, do you think perhaps AU needs a reform of its political and diplomatic processes? Some have gone as far as calling for the disbanding of the AU's Peace and Security Council and the creation of a new, more effective mechanism. Do you agree? And what reforms, if any, do you think can make change?
Well, on what he said, do I agree? I don't. Because it's not the structure or the form or whatever you have in place that is the problem. It is the people. It's the leaders. It's the people working in those structures and therefore, subsequently, the countries they come from that are a problem. So how do structures in themselves become a problem? So even if you created another structure, but you have the same people thinking the same way, what are you likely to get out of that? I think Charles must be aware of that. I don't know what really needs to be done. Yes, I was given responsibility by the leaders of our continent to work with others to suggest the reforms that can be made on our continent. I was happy to lead that process. And by the way, I also reached a point, after I had more or less completed the main bulk of what I was supposed to do, I thought we needed maybe to find another person. Because when I was seeing some, I mean, you can hear this. We sit in meetings, leaders, I'm talking leaders, of leaders, presidents, prime ministers and others. We agree something in a room like this. Suggestions that have come from us. We agree. We put something in place. And then, in the end, nothing works. Do you think it's a problem of the process? It's a problem of the structure? What is the problem? I think the answer is obvious. The problem is us. So in fact, when I even wanted to test that, because when it was just going back and forth like this and that, and we agree something, we don't do it, or we do it halfway, and so that is how I decided. And I told the leaders in the room that, you know what, I've been very happy to serve you, but I think it has come to the time we try somebody else. Maybe before you get tired of me, or before I get too frustrated myself, but to serve the cause of reform, I think we can, here in this room, choose somebody else to lead the process, so that we try different people, different angles of dealing with the matter, and that's how the process went to a different person, the President of Kenya, President Ruto. In fact, in the meeting, they even asked me who I think could be. So I gave them my proposition. All was to try and make a point to me that, I mean, I was trying to make a point to these people that we have a problem we need to address. And it's not going to be one person here or one structure there. Collectively we have a problem because we cannot adhere to even things we have suggested ourselves and agreed and put in place and make them work to serve us well. So suggesting to dismantle this and create this, and I don't think gives us any solution. The problem is in us. We need to, if we want things to work, we need to adhere to what we have agreed, what we think is important for our continent, for our people, and so we just have to keep trying with what we have in place. Yes, if there is a need to change something, sure, you can do that. but you still remain with the problem with not doing what you have agreed, irrespective of whatever changes, other changes you put in place. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't see that. We need to find some way. I don't know whether, some magic. Whether we need to be saved, we need to, somehow we will have to find some cleansing process where we renew ourselves, and we, I don't know, we have to find something. Otherwise, we are really not serving ourselves well.
We'll now come back to the room and take more questions.
Yeah.
RFI, and then we can come to Al Jazeera.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Your Excellency. My name is Lucie Mouillot, and I'm the journalist for Radio France International. After the postponement of the Head of State Summit in Luanda in December, what is the current state of the Luanda talks, and how does Rwanda perceive the continuation of the negotiation? Thank you.
What the last part, sorry?
How does Rwanda perceive the continuation of the negotiations in the Luanda talks?
Yeah. For that one, I try to give it a short answer, much as it lies in the early explanations I was giving. There has to continue an effort to find a solution. If I start backwards, there has to be an effort to continue finding a solution to this problem. But it can't be business as usual. We can't continue the way we have been doing it, putting the importance of the process above the results. I think what we are looking for are the results, not the process, but we need the process to get there. And in the process, therefore, you need to do what is right. So on that note, really the effort has to keep in place, and we have to keep asking ourselves the right questions and finding the right answers. The FDLR question has to be answered. There is no dodging, being dodged about that and circling around the problem endlessly. We have to find a solution. Tied with that, the internal problems of DRC, of persecuting their own people and making it our problem by giving us refugees and by giving us all sorts of names that we are supporting those people fighting for their rights in the DRC, has to find a solution. And the solution lies in internal political process or dialogue that the government can, on one hand they say they want to talk to this, and then they say no, we'll never talk to them, they are terrorists, and then so you even don't get to understand what is really is it that you are dealing with. They say, no, we won't talk to them, but we shall mandate somebody else to talk to them for us. I don't know what that leads to. I can't be blamed for it, really. Do you want a solution or you don't want a solution? That's it. And if you want a solution, then the character of the process and the quality of it explains it. People can see what you are doing and you understand that you actually want a solution. So the meeting did not happen because, again, it wasn't the appearance there that was the most important thing. It was what was taking us there and how it is being addressed that was more important. And before the summit was to take place, there had been technical people meeting, discussing, and ministers meeting, DRC, Rwanda, and Angola. The technical people would agree things, and then it comes to ministers, what the technical people agreed, half of it is rejected. And when I'm saying this, mark you and check. It should really be rejected by DRC, not Rwanda. Even if earlier it was endorsed by technical people from DRC and agreed with our people and the Angolans, it comes to a meeting of ministers, the minister says, no, this one can't happen. So they go on for a long time. Ministers' meeting comes and they meet, they discuss, and when they are getting close to something, the minister of DRC steps out, picks a phone call, makes a call, and comes back saying, no, I don't want this. Said, but this thing you don't want is what leads us to finding a solution. And he says, no way, I don't want. So that's, in the end, they disagreed until like maybe 3 o'clock in the morning or something. And but still then there was insistence, no, we must go there and sign, and sign something. Not even to have another discussion, because I don't think there was even need for that to happen. So that's what killed the summit. So it's not Rwanda that killed the summit, it's actually DRC. And they were saying it, by the way, for those who want to hear. If you don't want to hear, that's another matter. But when statements are coming from heads of state and foreign and ministers, and they are saying, no, they will never do this, and yet that is what is being asked to be done, even logically, and sometimes in agreement with the mediator, and he says, no way. First of all, these are terrorists, I will never speak to them, meaning he's not prepared to find a political solution to the internal problems, but is willing to continue blaming them on Rwanda. And then he's dodgy about FDLR. One time he says they don't exist, that they are not there. Another time they say, yeah, but they are there, but they are few. Then another time he says, no, but this is just an excuse. They are there, but it is an excuse. They want to steal our minerals. I mean, it becomes childish stuff. You can't even know what you are dealing with. So I had agreed to go all the way until last minute, and they said, because I didn't see what was taking me there, honestly. So, but the other question I started with, or you asked, and I started answering, was there has to be a way of finding a solution. We can't just live with it and give up, but there are going to be these ups and downs in finding the solution.
Thank you, sir. We will now go to Al Jazeera.
Thank you, Mr. President. Laif Mushtaq from Al Jazeera Digital. Mr. President, in a few days there is a new administration will take office in United States. Do you expect a change and how Washington deals with the situation in Eastern Congo. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I respect the change that has taken place in the United States, because for it to happen, it must have been for very good reasons that the Americans endorsed in their vote. So I'm happy with what there is, and I've got to deal with it the way it is. And building on that, I think so many things have changed and will change. First of all, the administration changed through a democratic process. There are many things, even geopolitically, at least to the approach, that are going to change, for sure. And I guess, and I think so, that it will be the same to the approach of how African matters may be dealt with, generally, and also specifically with Eastern Congo, the same might see change happen. That's what I think from a distance, and just waiting for what will follow. But I think there is bound to be change, not just one in one place, but many changes in many places at the same time. Because it's not only that things have changed in the United States, I can still see many things changing across the world. In fact, at a terrific speed, that we have to work hard to take care of ourselves, given the whirlwind of change sweeping across the world.
Thank you, sir. Ozwaki? Microphone.
Where is it? Okay, thank you. So murakoze nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika, nitwa Mutuyezu Oswald, nkora kuri Radio TV channel. Guverinoma iriho ni ukuvuga abaministre barahiye mu ku itariki 19 z'ukwa munani, ubu hamaze gusimbuzwamo batanu. Manda ibanza yarangiye nabwo hasigayemo batanu. Impinduka tubona ko zihuta cyane. Ese bisobanuye iki ku birebana na accountability, kubazwa inshingano? Ese hakorwa iki kugira ngo bitagira imishinga cyangwa se gahunda bihungabanya, bidindiza? Mubonye n'umwanya mwavuga ku kirebana na bino bigo bitsura ubuziranenge bitatu byajyaga bimera nka babahigi benshi bayobya ryatungo uburari, ariko ubu byorohejwe. Bavuze yuko icyangombwa kimwe cy'ubuziranenge ikigo kibonye kiba gihagije, byorohejwe gutumiza ibintu mu mahanga cyangwa kubyohereza, nta kubasaba byinshi kereka ibirebana n'imiti. Tukibaza tuti nta kintu mubona gikwiye gukorwa no mu bikorera bananiza abakiriya babo, cyane cyane za bank usanga zituma umukiriya agenduza n'ibigaruka n'ibyo bamaranye igihe ugasanga barongeye barabigutumye. Urwo rwari urugero. Murakoze.
Impinduka muri guverinoma ntiziraba, ahubwo turacyari ku ntangiriro. Ndabivuga mpereye ko bihera ku bintu byinshi, kandi n'imiterere y'igihe, imiterere y'igihugu, imiterere y'abantu, then n'icyifuzo cy'ubuyobozi bw'igihugu buba bwifuza ko twakora ibintu neza nta guta igihe, bishoboye no kugabanya icyo bidutwara, icyo bidusaba, nabyo byose bikakubira hamwe. Baravuga rero impinduka zibaye muri iki gihe gishize, tuvuge mu mwaka ushize n'intangiriro, uyu byari bitaraba ku mpera y'umwaka ushize, ariko ari mbere gato y'amatora twagiyemo na nyuma yaho kurangiza uyu mwaka. Ariko ibyo byabaye hashize igihe, impinduka isa n'iyatujeho gato. Ibyo rero bituruka mu kureba ikiba gikenewe muri icyo gihe. Ariko nubwo wambajije ikibazo, ugomba kuba ufite nawe uko ubibona cyangwa utekereza, cyane cyane binashingiye no ku bagiye bahinduka cyangwa bihindura. Ugomba kuba uvuga uti ariko aha koko hari hakenewe. Ntabwo ngusabye ngo bimbwire ubigumane mu mutima wawe, ariko nzi ko ugomba kuba ureba aha ukavuga uti ariko hariya ahubwo baradutindiye, cyangwa ahandi uti. Byose rero biva mu kugerageza, ariko dufite gushakisha gukora byinshi bishoboka, gukora ku muvuduko ushoboka kugira ngo bigabanye uburemere bw'ibibazo abantu bahura nabyo, byaba mu buhinzi n'ubworozi, byaba mu buzima, byaba mu burezi, byaba mu bikorwa remezo, byaba mu bikorera nyine nk'ibyo wari unavuze warangirijeho, nabyo ndaza kubisubiramo. Umuntu ahora ni nko kuba rwose ufite igishushanyo imbere yawe cy'ibintu byose uko biriho, uko bikorwa, babikora, hanyuma bikakwereka ikivuyemo, noneho bigashaka ngo uko wabirebaga, uko ibintu bigenda, ugira ibyo uhindura. Kuri jye sinzi, wenda ku bandi wenda hari ukundi babibona. Mu mikorere y'igihugu cyacu, mu gukorera igihugu cyacu, cya mbere shyira imbere, mvuge ku giti cyanjye, ni abaturage b'u Rwanda. Barabona ibishoboka byose bikwiye uko dushoboye. Hari ibyo tutageraho, hari ibyo tutabona kubera ko tutanabishoboye, tugategereza igihe amikoro azabonekera wenda tukabikora. Ariko kubihari, kubishoboka, barabona ibyiza bikwiye uko bishoboka or not. Icyo ni kimwe. Ababikora barabikora uko bikwiye, cyangwa bashyiramo amarangamutima yabo, bagakora ibintu uko babyumva, uko babishaka, cyangwa byaba biterwa se n'aho bari, bashobora gukora ahandi neza kurusha. Ibyo nabyo ukabinyuramo ukabitekereza. Cyangwa se barabiterwa n'uko bagera ku nshingano bakibonamo muri izo nshingano mbere na mbere kurusha kureba abaturage muri izo nshingano bashinzwe. Nibo bagiye hejuru y'ibintu byose, babikora uko babishaka, uko babyumva, ntawe wagira icyo avuga. Kuba bishinzwe rero, bishobora kuba bishinzwe abandi ahandi, cyangwa njye kubishinze ari nanjye biturukaho icyo kibazo cyo guhindura abo bantu. Rwose mbikora nabanje kunyura muri izo nzira. iyo nabonye ko hari ikigomba guhinduka ntabwo ntumwanya niyo narara ngushyizemo kubera ko nta kintu nari nkuziho cyangiza nkakibona umunsi ukurikiye ndakuvanaho kuko si wowe mbona mbere mu kazi ndabona igihugu n'inyungu zacyo mbere na mbere ibyo kujya kuvuga ngo atababara tarakara iyo wagenda ukishwa n'agahinda njye ntacyo bimbwiye niba nakemuye ikibazo cy'abaturage cyangwa ikibazo rusange ubundi twese duhuriraho kugira ngo ibintu bikorwe neza kuri ibyo rero nuko bimeze ndumva muri ibyo ngibyo nta kindi kidashoboka no ku cya kabiri harya wavuze ngo ni iki wakise iki
murakoze nyakubahwa perezida wa repubulika no kuri icyo cya mbere hari abavuga bati muba mwarambagije nabi niyo mpamvu uwo mushyizeho bucyavaho
birashoboka rwose kurambagiza nabi birashoboka kubera ko abantu urabazi hari ukwihisha ntumumenye ukazamumenya yabaye tesitedi ku kazi kuko kandi ntugire ngo ni nanjye ubikora binyura mu zindi nzego hari ubwo izi nzego zibicika nazo erega nazo zirimo abandi bameze nk'abo barangaye bageze bate bakaza byihuta bakambwira bati kanaka bati ni igitangaza nimumuzanire yahagera akanga ariko siko mwambeshye kundeba hari ikibazo ariko birebera ku bikorwa ntabwo ari amarangamutima ntabwo umuntu mwambwiye umeze atya ko yaje agakora ibi akagira atya akagira atya mbere na mbere tubanze turebe ko ibi ngibi byamubonetseho ari ukuri kugira ngo atabeshyerwa cyangwa ataza kuhotazwa n'ikitari cyo ubwabo abandi bamuzanye akaba aribo bavuga bati nibyo bya bindi twasanze ari byo ubwo se najya guhera mu kintu cyo kuvuga ngo baribeshye reka mbyihanganire cyabonetse kigomba kugenda gityo
hanyuma cya kindi rero nikivugana na bino bigo bitsura ubuziranenge
ibya private sector ibyabikorera rwose ndemeranya nawe tugomba gushakisha uburyo n'abikorera erega n'abikorera ntabwo abikorera ari ba nyamwigendaho abikorera bikorera mu gihugu niyo wikorera iyo ukoze nabi bifite undi byangiriza rero hari inzego za leta hari iz'abikorera tugomba gushaka uko bihuzwa kugira ngo byombi bikore neza byuzuzanye kuko ni igihugu tureba igihugu kirimo abo bikorera kirimo inzego za leta kirimo ibintu byose kuri ibyo nabyo uvuga nabyo bizagerwaho biba byashobokaga ngo bibe aka kanya tubivuze yaba ariko ntabwo ko ibintu bigenda turakuzi ntabwo ibintu biba nk'uko ubyifuza muri ako kanya ariko ibyo ndemeranya nabyo nabo bagomba kugira umurongo bafata ndetse rega igihugu rega kigira umuco kigira izina kigira karagita igihugu cyacu gikubiyemo abo bose turashaka kucyubaka kikagira umuco ukiranga muzima wo gukora neza.
Thank you, sir. If you may, we could take a short break, stretch our legs and reconvene for more questions.
No problem. I'm here the rest of the day.
Thank you. So we can take a short break and come back for more questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good.